So I had this incredible 90 minutes, one-on-one, with James Cameron. It went well. At the end, we stood up, shook hands, and he said, "Welcome aboard." And my life has not been the same ever since. So it's been an amazing experience being involved in the language, seeing how a movie is constructed, meeting people I'd never thought I'd meet my entire life. As you know, we are working on 4 sequels.
Did you have this language at all, like already semi-created, or did you start from scratch based on information you received from Mr. Cameron?
Absolutely from scratch. Did not have anything created at all. In fact, I had never really created a language before. Navi has some interesting rules about that because it has some very familiar sounds. It has some unusual sounds from a Western perspective. It has things called ejectives, the O and the and A. But it also omits certain very familiar sounds. Navi does not have a B, a D, or a G. It has an NG, but it doesn't have a G. So if you see a word with B, D, G, that's not Navi. Okay? It doesn't have a CH, it doesn't have ch, and some other things. So you decide, then you have to decide on what combinations of sounds are possible. Also, what positions certain sounds can be in. One notorious thing about Navi is that it has this NG sound at the beginning of a word. So the word for you is nga, N-G-A. Now the NG sound is very familiar in English. We have it all over the word, sing, bring, hung, whatever. What we don't have is that same sound at the beginning of a word. If you speak Indonesian, if you speak Thai, if you speak Vietnamese, it's the most natural thing in the world. But for most Western speakers, it's a challenge. That's probably the most challenging thing that the actors had to deal with. The Navi don't have gunships, okay, but gunships exist in the movie, and it would make sense for the Navi to need a term for that after the sky people have landed, because they see gunships. Okay, so what's the Navi word for a gunship? What we simply did is take the English word gunship, filter it through the Navi pronunciation system, and it comes out kunse, to take existing elements in the language and combine them in a way. So these are like compounds. So the word for computer in Navi is eltu lefnga. Eltu means brain, lefnga means metallic. So a computer is a metallic brain. There were certain words, of course, that really caught on with the cast and crew. The best known example is the word for moron, which was part of the script, which I had to come up with. Anyone know it? Skaung. It's spelled S-K-X-A-W-N-G. And that was a word that for some reason people really glommed onto and adopted. And crew members would turn to each other and say, you skaung. So that was kind of fun. As for how many words, I mean, I think the original vocabulary list for the first movie had maybe about 500 words.
Did you create some words specifically for the theme park area? Land?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was asked for. So, for example, I was asked to create a word for fan in the sense of someone totally committed to, an incredible enthusiast. And so we had a word for a verb for to be enthusiastic about something, which is soha. And one who is enthusiastic would be a sohayu. And one who is extraordinarily enthusiastic is a ansohayu. So you folks would all count as ansohayu. Okay, so the word for Pandora, which you see in the middle of the bottom list, is ewa even. Ewa even. That's a compound. It actually means child of Ewa. So eveng is the word for child, and Ewa is Ewa. There are 2 forms here. Ewa eveng is the proper dictionary form. Eweveng is a short form which is colloquial and perfectly acceptable. So to say welcome to Pandora, it's Zolau Npurte Ewevengne. Walt Disney World. I mean, what would Walt Disney be filtered through the Navi sound system? So a Navi word could not end in LT. So you'd have to add a vowel there. It'd probably be, and the vowel aw doesn't exist in Navi. It would be the A or O. If it were A, it would be Walte, it would be Walt. And Disney would come out Tizni. So it would be something like Walte Tizni.
Sounds good. Is there a word for world already?
That's a big.
Kifke.
Kifke.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds actually really cool.
And so it'd be Walte Tizni Kifke. That would be like the world of Walt Disney.